Hello everybody, SDH here back with part 2 of the DFFOO tier list. Last time I did the first 50 characters that were introduced into the game, and this time I'm doing the next 50, or 49 if you're counting correctly or not. I'm saying 50 because I like numbers. But, I'm super excited to get back into this today. It took a while longer than I thought it would to get the notes for these next 50. But it's gonna be a lot of fun. So let's go over a few things before I start again. My sources will be linked in the description once again. If you go check out Jet Stringen's tier list video he did for the end of October. It's a really good watch. I recommend it a lot. Another one I would recommend and another thing I would recommend is to go join the r/DFFOO Discord. You can get help there and advice for presumably any event or hard difficulty level that you're doing. So if you need help with anything on global or on the JP side, feel free to look there. And also, my source for getting most of this information, the Dissidia Compendium, which is all things DFFOO, including everything that the characters' attacks do. I think even there's a bestiary, buffs, all that great stuff. So if you just want to know what a certain character can do at this moment in time, either on the global side or on the JP side, I'd recommend looking there. Anyway, and now that I've cited what I wanted to cite, we're gonna go into the rules real quick, or the rules that I chose. So each unit will be evaluated on how they are as a unit in the party and as a call as well. This might always be. Is that an ad? It's an ad. Gosh dang it. I don't care. There we go, that's better. Alright, back to the rules. I'm going to go over it again. They will be evaluated as a unit and as a call. So if they're better as a call than as a unit, they might be higher ranked. Say as like they're instead of being an E tier, they'll be an F tier. Or not an F tier, they'll be an E tier. So that's why some of the E tier units, like for example Ferris, isn't completely an F because she has a good call. So that's a good example. Another rule that I placed as well is trying to be as perspective as just at a first face value, like, okay, like, how would these units be all together, and like, saying, oh, I use this unit a lot, saying, like, oh, yeah, they're really good they're a really good unit because I use them a lot. If that were the case, I would be putting Ferris in B tier, but because I know for a fact she isn't actually that good, only her call is really good, then that's why she is here. Another thing is that global first stuff will not be evaluated here as well. So core will not be ranked at all. That's why he has his own little tier. And also availability as well. Some characters are more available than others, yada yada yada. Like the Start Dash banner characters are probably higher ranked for that reason. That's why Cloud will probably be in C tier. But because he's because he's always available to newer players, he is higher ranked, and he has a lot of other good stuff that just makes me think he's an A tier character. But let's get into the last one, which is me updating this tier list every end of the month. So say for example, Lyle, who got a rework recently. A lot of people will think, oh, why is he D tier? He shouldn't be D tier. He's really, really good now. And I'm like, yeah, he is really, really good now. But this is for November. not December. So if you're if you're wondering that why he's D tier, that is why. Um, and I think that's it. A few other things is that I'm using different music this time. I am using one of the I think it's Distant Worlds. Yeah, Distant Worlds. That's right. Which is which I really like. Distant Worlds. All the soundtracks are really good, especially 4. So if you ever just want to listen to something, I recommend listening to that. Okay, and the last thing before I get into ranking, is what actually all these tiers mean to me. So a lot of people thought like, oh, you placed Cater in D tier. Are you stupid or something? She's not that bad. I'm like, yeah, she's not that bad. Because she really, literally isn't that bad, but she is still below average or below decent in my opinion. So I'm gonna go over what each of these does. So I'm gonna start with low, and we're gonna work our way up. F is I'm gonna say it is really bad, rally bad, really bad, really bad. So like characters, honestly, nobody uses anymore, or at least at this very moment in time. Not even for calls. They both have not good calls, and they both are terrible as units right now. Like, these two are also pretty out of date, but does not mean that they are good. E is, I would say, is just bad. Um, just like characters like Hope. Hope has a good call, but he's terrible as a unit. This goes for most of these guys, actually. Like, they probably all have really good calls, except for Vanille. But Vanille isn't an absolute bad unit that I could think of I can think of more reasons to use over Yang and Sabin. But, you know, that's just how I feel about him. A D is less than decent. I guess that's the right word to say. Less than decent. I mean, these guys are pretty close to being decent, but they have huge flaws holding them back. Thancred, I might actually move down a little bit because I realize, even though he is a C90 character, but not all C90 characters are made equal, so C is decent. You can probably find yourself using these guys in any situation. In certain situations, they're pretty good. They have strengths. Are probably more noticeable than D, E, and F tier characters. B, I would say is good. Like, these are really good units. Like, you can see yourself using these units in a lot of ways. Either as a go-to call or a go-to unit, maybe. They have huge strengths in a lot of areas, and so maybe that's why they're B tier. A tier, I would say, is really good units. So these characters all make sense to be really good because they have really huge strengths that really make them stand out from B tier characters. Even though B tier characters have some good things in their own right. And S tier is extremely good characters. Is extremely good characters. So characters that you would probably always put on a team in one way or another. Maybe not even as a call. Maybe you'll just have them on your team. I think Tidus is a really good example of that right now. He's extremely good. Extremely, extremely good. Like, not even joking. He can probably clear most content right now just based off his rework and his FR alone. and his BT. But he is super reliant on his BT. But that's something I probably should have talked about last time, huh? So that's probably so. If that makes more sense to you guys, then we can get started. I'm also gonna make this as short as I can because I realized I kind of went on for an hour. So let's get started. Also, I will put a timestamp on the screen when it gets started. So let's do this. All right, first. All right, first off, we have Ash. So Ash is a trap, double element, and paralyzer. And I pushed her in D. I don't know if I think I agree with that. I think D is a good place for her. I totally forgot about her HP attack that can change when you use her LD. Or I think it was her EX, which is a turn manipulation, which, hey, that's pretty neat. She can also paralyze as well. But of course there are better paralyzers now. One of which isn't going to be on this part, but you guys definitely know who he is. Aerith, I put in C. Okay. Aerith, for the longest time, was a go-to supporter character. She has 100% debuff immunity, which honestly, that's really good. Even now, that's really good. Because I don't think there's any other character that matches that. I mean, there's another character coming up that I could say could match that. But even when I looked her stuff up, it wasn't 100% like Aerith's. She also was one of the first characters to get 10% to also do damage up. So, HP damage up. Which I honestly, at that point, was very much helpful. It was very, very helpful. Could help characters get more damage off. Other than that, she struggles in any other aspect. She has a good call. I would admit that. She has a really good call, because it does the exact same thing as her LD would usually do. Actually, I don't know if that's true. I could always look that up, but I'm not in the mood to do that right now. So, so that's what I put for Aerith. Lion. Okay, I put her in D, but I might put her in E. I think I'm gonna put her in E. She's a dispeller and a follow-upper, so she can dispel with her EX and LD, I think. Sorry about that cut there. The fire alarm went off, so I'm back again. Hooray! Anyways, Lion, I'm putting E. She's very weird because she has because she can dispel. Which, hey, dispelling, that's pretty nice. She has a follow up after she uses her LD. But other than that, I don't know what else she does. Like, even after looking her stuff up, even asking some people, it was kind of like she just kind of does that. So I'm gonna put her in E. Garnet. Garnet, I think I'm gonna put you in A. You have a really cool trap mechanic that I personally really like. You can enchant yourself with lightning and water damage. So, that could be nice, if you're really, 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 really needing it. So, she does pretty good damage on her own. She has, I think it's an aura? Her EX, I think her EX is an aura. Other than that, she's a really good trap follow-up. And honestly, I've been using her a lot lately. And she's pretty good. So, Auron, I put you in A. We now are into the double lane. The double lane, I guess. Auron is a counter tank. His LD has 5 uses, which I think is one of the first. I think it's the only LD right now that has 5. I will correct myself later if I'm wrong. But his LD is a very much a must-have on him. That goes for almost every character though, but especially on Auron. That's how he gets his counter. That's how he gets to do counters and stuff. He's really good at what he does. So, and then he also is a debuffer as well. So I don't remember kind of debuffs. I think it's just generic non-framed ones. But hey, debuffs are debuffs. So definitely adds on to that. He also can do insane amounts of damage by himself. I've seen it happen before on my runs, and very helpful when I was doing the Act 3, Chapter 8? Chapter 8, Part 2 Shinryu against the Aeon. So, let's get into the next one. Sarah, I put you in D. I don't know if I should put you in C, because all you really do is Brave Sap. I mean, you do it very, very well, because you guarantee Brave Sap. I mean, like, for, like, somebody like Keese, who does it in... I guess he does it passively? I don't know. But you're very, very good at it. But other than that, you don't do anything else very good. I mean, you are a C90 character, so you have the obvious rework that everybody gets, unless you're Under Knight. But other than that, I don't see anything else about you that I would say really does stand out. Irvine, I put you in B. You are a range impairaler. His call is really good as well. He's very good at what he does. But so does Edgar, who I also put in B. There are uses for both of these guys, but they all have pretty similar jobs in doing imperiling damage. More Edgar though, but if you want like ranged damage, like you just want pure ranged, I think Irvine does it better than Edgar does. So Edgar also got his FR boards recently, but I don't know if that will affect him as a unit. It might later, but Celeste, you were. What did I put you in? A tier. Okay, I believe me. She got her C90 during early October, I think. And it's a really good rework. So, she's a magic tank, but she also does magic ice damage. I don't think she can enchant herself. At least I don't remember if she does. But she definitely does ice damage and does ice in peril. She also has ice trap counters. So after an enemy goes, that ice trap will go off. And will usually almost always break if they do brave attacks. So, that's very nice and convenient. She does gain lots of brave attack for tanking, which is very good. So, and I would say she's one of the base up there with one of the best tanks. In fact, like most of the tanks are up here, are in A tier. I don't know if I've seen any of them below that. I don't see any tanks below here that have gotten a rework in a long time. So, Kain, easy S tier. He was the first FR, but unlike Squall, who was the first BT, and it was very underwhelming, Kain is definitely not. He has a really good FR, and I believe the condition is launch. Um, Let me check. Whew. Yeah, it is launch. Okay, I was right. So it is launch, and I believe. Oh yeah, so they get a they, and so like his is very like it's very samey. It's very very samey, but hey, that it's good samey. Um, and also alongside his FR, his BT is really good as well. It's a very simple BT finisher, but it's a very good effect. Like it's super solid. Alongside having an S2 that can easily do over a million with high armor plus. It's a very weird to say this, but come on, how can that not be S tier material? He also his follow ups got even better with his rework. When he's in the air, his off turn damage. It also adds on to the timer, yeah, without taking a turn. The FR gauge without taking a turn. Um, like he's very very good now, solid character. Well, extremely good now. So Maria. You're a brave sapper and a trapper. I put you in B. Um, right now, Global got her recently, and she's very good in Global right now. Like, probably S tier if this was during that era. But I still say that she's good, but not absolutely, but not extremely good, or really good. But she's just good right now. She's good. Not that that's a death sentence like most people think that means. So, Palom is an ice enchanter and a self enchant. Is an ice DPS and self enchanter. An Imperial as well. Okay. Okay, this man is weird. I don't know. I didn't know where to place him, so I just placed him in A. I think that might change later though. Actually, it's gonna change now. I think he's good at doing ice damage. Really good, but there's better characters. Um, he has interesting effects, though. Like, interesting self buffs that I believe stack. Yeah, I think he has stack buffs. And then they're good. Like, very good. But it's just to him and himself. And, with his rework, he also got some weird things with his LD. So his LD no longer really. His LD was the best part of his kit before he got C90. And it's sad now to see that that's no longer the case. Not saying that it's bad, but now it just feels like his LD is now just a thing in his kit. Kuja, I put you in D. You used to be really good. No, that's E, D. Kuja, you used to be really good, and I mean like really really good. But it's different now. You Holy Imperator and Enchanters can go to any other character now. There's a lot of them, and I'm not even joking. There are tons of Holy Enchanters and Imperilers now, and it also could go for like other elements as well. But like ice, for example, there are a ton of ice damage people that can also imperil and do other general stuff. But I hope you can get better with your C90. Um, but for now, let's go on at the quizzes. Quizzes, I was tempted to put into A tier, but come on, it's Quizzist. Quizzist is a delayer, and that's all she does. But she does it very, very, very well. Her S2 gives her an instant turn cast, and also delays like what three back 2 back, and it lets you go again. You could use it, but it only has 4 uses, I believe. Her S1 is good if you run out of S2 uses, but she has ways to recover her S2, and I think her S1 as well. Her AA can also help recover 2 uses to S2, and also her LD also can help with that as well. All of her skills delay. Her EX and LD delay. Her AA doesn't attack, so it doesn't delay, but it's still an instant turn cast and gives 2 uses back to S2. So like that's an easy S tier in my opinion. I don't know why you would disagree with me. She's not even falling out of the meta right now, and she's one of the first C90s to have ever existed. And she's still going strong. Like, holy crap. Like, she was very helpful on the 6-man, and very helpful on some of the other recent stuff that we've been getting. Raijin. I think I put you in B. Yeah, so... Right? Is that what I did? Raijin, I did put you in B. Okay, Raijin's very good, is a very good paralyzer, and I think he's paralyze immune as well. I don't quote me on that. That might be different. But his LD call, I believe, is paralyze immune. I believe. Let me go check. This shouldn't take long because I'm already on his page. Ah, okay, now I see why he's really good. Okay. So his LD prevents anybody, his LD call especially, it prevents anybody from inflicting debuffs, which is extremely helpful, especially with characters that can paralyze. So, characters that can paralyze are no longer going to be an issue because of Raijin right here. Really good call. As a unit, though, I don't know. I would say as a unit he would go in decent, but because of his really, really good call, there's no way I could say that he is lower than a B. Alright, and Fujin, you are a winded changer, and not a good one at that. Your LD, even when you got your LD, you were just a meh. And you're even worse now because there are better characters that can do that. So, but you are getting your FR soon, so that might change. I'm really excited for that. Seifer. I put you in B. I think that's a fair placement for Seifer. He can do a lot of damage. He also does 1 damage on his S1, which I thought was, which is super niche, but that, you know what, that's something. I don't know what else to say about him. He can kind of Brave Freeze. He can also Brave Sap. But that's pretty much it. Kefka. I actually put you in C, which surprises me a little bit, but you know, I can see it. He has lots of debuffs, and I mean, he has lots of debuffs, and his burst is actually extremely unique, being very debuff based. Like, lots of 50% is what I was reading off of it. Which, hey, debuffs are debuffs, like I've said before. Even if they're not framed, they're still debuffs. There are lots of good framed debuffs, like Raijin's, for example, but that's pretty much it for Kefka. Good debuffer. I think he does need a rework, though, so... Alright, Lena. After discussing it with myself, I think you're good in being an S tier. You are a regener and a rebreaker, and also have some really good auras. And so, I bet you're asking me, like, why is she really, really good, and not Aerith? Well, Lena has 80%, I think, debuff immunity, debuff evasion, which isn't 100%, but 80%. That's 20% that they don't miss it. And she also has a good regen. She has really good auras as well. So that's it for Lena. Really good auras. A character I've taken a lot, especially since I built her recently. So Sephiroth, Sephiroth, my man, Sephiroth. After I was gonna put him in A tier, but I think he's also an S tier unit. Sephiroth he's another one of those units that has a golden debuff, and it's a sap golden debuff, which is unique, to say the least. But he can also help extend it for about 4 more turns with the use of his LD, and he also does lots of damage. His freaking BT, his burst is extremely powerful. It always re-breaks. Not like breaks, but it always gives re-brave to every unit after every turn. I think it's like 6 turns, 6 turns, 4 turns, I believe, of his turns. So you can get lots of breaking off, and you can also just, like imagine Tidus with Seth. Like, that's a dangerous combo. But it always resets to 1. Always. And so you're going to get a lot of breaks, especially if they don't move, especially if they do move, or they go back a turn when they break. And it happens to every unit, it happens to every enemy on that side. Also some other generic debuffs as well, like I think tack down and defense down, but like that's what most debuffers have. So, but he also got a lot of damage off his S2 and his S1. If you're interested in that, I've seen lots of runs with Sephiroth, really cool runs. So I really think he's that good. Sid, what did I put you? B tier. I think I agree with that. Sid is what Fujin is trying to do, but actually can do it. He's a Wind Enchanter and a Wind Imperiler. I don't think he has the same jump things like other Dragoons have, like Kain does, and then another one that's coming up on this list, but I think he's solid. He, Wind Enchanters have their places in the teams, and I've seen a lot of good things coming out of it. Also, calls, Enchanter calls are really helpful as well. So, alright, Jacked. I put you in A? Honestly, I believe it. Jacked is a fire DPS. His S1 has 5 dumps. It has like a weird follow up on that other one. And he always gets a second. He always gets a second chance whenever he gets. He always gets a second turn after he gets a turn. His LD is extremely good. It re-breaks like halfway through, pretty similar to how Vayne's S1 works. If you're really familiar with Vayne, so I don't know what else to say about Jacked. He does fire damage. He helps with FRs that do have fire, like Braska, who's the newest character that's come out. I don't know what else to say about Jack, but he's really good. Has a good BT, and he has a good S1. His S2 got nothing, so it's kind of underwhelming now. And his EX also does lots of damage now. So let's just continue on. Lil Lizette, I put you in C tier. Only for one reason. Her call. Her call gives HP damage resist down, I believe. And also as a unit, she's not that bad. She's pretty. She would be down here if it wasn't for her call. So, but it's only her call that's really good, which I think is just HP resist down. So, Yuri. You are C tier. You're decent. I believe you are decent. But I don't know what else to do with you. You will most likely get a BT here in the future because it's been revealed through data mines that Charlotta is getting a BT. So it wouldn't surprise me if you do eventually get your BT. Or get a BT. Not everybody's gonna get one, so... So yeah, Yuri, C tier. He's just a generic, Holy. Holy Imperialer, and I think Enchanter as well. Which, there are better characters on this list that do that better than him, so... Zack. After thinking about it, I think you are an S tier character. Your BT effect is way too good for you. And honestly, after getting that rework after you got your LD, this was before you got his BT, that rework made you extremely powerful and doing lots of damage in your tank. His EX extent is really good now, as well, and helps shields himself, but he's also a selfish tank. So it works out, and I believe his BT effect also gives shield as well, and so it's way more party effective. He also gets the immortal stuff, so he has a hard time dying while he has a buff on from the BT. So, he's very good. He can do damage, he can deal damage, he can tank damage, he's really good for the party as well. He has a lot of things going for him, and I see him used a lot on runs, especially in Shinryu. So, Rydia. A tier. No, I put you in B tier. Rydia is what you take when you get a wind enchanter. Is what Sid does, but for water. She imperils water and she enchants water, and that's all. And that's pretty much all she does. Hey, that's not bad. Sometimes you need those enchanters in your party, and those imperilers. So they both have uses. LZ, I put you in C. When I was looking at her buffs and stuff, I just was super confused when I was reading on. Her S1 and her S2 do, two different elements. And it's all dependent on which one you do at that point in time. One of the few things that she is really good at is imperiling 4 freaking elements. Very similar to what Vaughn does, or very similar to what, Todo does, but that doesn't always mean that they're gonna be, okay, I must use them on my team now. Still, I don't think she's that bad. I think she's decent. Just very confusing character. I don't understand her that much. Noctis, I put you in C as well. The thing is, a lot of people think Noctis sucks. I honestly don't. His BT finisher is really good, and it easily can get over 1 million. I mean, most BT pluses do. But he has a lot of his LD's still really good because it gives stat buffs up or something, and does something with turns. I don't remember exactly. I haven't used him that much. I do have him, but I don't use him that much. I guess what else I could say about Noctis is that his plus versions give him a follow-up, but that's it. His EX is really good. It caps pretty easily. I think that's it. I don't know what else to say about him. Selphie, you guys already know. She is stupid broken. In easily one of the best supporter units in the game. Hands down. She launches, she bravery gens, she's a launch enabler, I should say. She has good auras. She's stupid. No way, no reason for her to be this good. Her buffs are great. Her auras are great. Her launching is phenomenal, and he was the best launcher in the game. She's the best launcher in the game when I'm making this, but honestly, I think Lyle is better. but nobody else can get to the same level as launching as she does. She enables it with her LD. Her EX is really good as well. She is just stupid good. The only thing I will say though is that she's not that great as a call. It doesn't really work the same way as it does with other calls because her LD is, I think it's aura based. So it's no, I don't think it's aura based. I think it's I think it is aura based. So it only, and I think only her call has a call effect as well. And maybe I should look this stuff up before I continue speaking. But it doesn't even matter if her call isn't that good, because she's still one of the best supporter units in the game. Like, hands down, nowhere near anybody can get that close. Even Lena, who I think is a really good supporter, can't get anywhere near that. Except for maybe she has something over Selphie, which is debuff immunity. So, while I look this up. It doesn't even give the call, but it does force launch, so. It's so good. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, her calls are definitely not as good. But hey, she's still really decent in my opinion. Alright, next up we have Cait Sith, who, even with the rework you got from the last October cycle, from the second half of October, I don't think you're that good. You would have probably been down here somewhere before your rework, but even now you still struggle. You're still just good as a call, but it's a good call, so, that's not the worst. Alright, Gilgamesh. What did I put you? I think I put you in A. Gilgamesh can paralyze and can also... Yeah, can paralyze. And he has a lot of HP attack gimmicks as well as brave attack gimmicks, because it changes depending on which RNG, how much RNG you get from his LD. His LD is RNG based, like Wakka's, except it's not debuff related. So, but I've seen people work with him, especially one of my great friends on the DFFOO Discord. I said I would eat my foot if he can make this run work with Gilgamesh. He did. And I still haven't done what I told him I would do. And he probably will be watching this, so I'm still not eating my foot. Alright, anyways. He can solo on FEODT 8. If you don't have Terra, he's there. So. Alright, after Gilgamesh is Relm. Relm was one of the most interesting characters I have ever read up on. I'm putting her in A. She's... Oh my gosh. Like... Her debuff sketch is universally very good. It warps back to her turn. It warps back after an enemy takes a turn. And also, she gets a special HP attack that's a 3 dump HP attack, and it's only after she uses a warp. But because Sketch can also be... But also, she has her AA can make Sketch go on for 7 freaking turns? So, that's fair and balanced in my opinion. She's very good at warping and taking damage. So, another thing that she's really good at is, another thing that I thought was interesting was, this is just a side note, but it doesn't affect how she is as a unit. But I like where the devs took with her with the summons and stuff with her S1. Depending on which summon you have, if it's an elemental summon, you will do that damage. If it's Odin, you do physical damage. If it's Bahamut, you just do regular magic damage, but you also do magic and elemental damage with either of the other summons. And there's even some more interesting niche ones as well. Like if you are using Mog summon with Terra in the party and you use S1, it clears all the debuffs off of Terra. That is so freaking cool. Like that's stuff that I wish that they would implement more often onto characters. Because it's like that could be some really cool niche things that you could do in a run. Like, debuff, like making sure that, Terra isn't isn't debuffed all the time. You can just use S1 with Mog in the party, even though Mog someone is garbage. And so is Sylph, and so is the Chocobo one, there was a third one, wasn't there? I think the third one was Mog. There's also other effects with those, but I don't care to explain them, so that's Rome. Leon. Leon, you actually have some really cool potential. Once you get your C90. You're a Dark Impaler and a Trapper. Most Final Fantasy II characters I'm noticing are traps. Like, Leon can trap, Firion can trap, or Firion. I think he's in C tier somewhere. Yeah, there he is. Firion, Maria can trap. I don't know who else can trap. I don't know. Emperor can trap as well. But Leon is very good. He has some really cool stuff with his traps and is also with his imperiling. Very good dark unit. I think him and Cecil would get along very well. Fang, I think I put you in D. D through C tier? I think I'm gonna put you in D tier. She didn't get a whole lot with the rework with her C90. I mean, her LD was pretty good. I think it's HP damage down. Any call that can do that is automatically a D tier. So, but she can launch. She has two techs that can launch, her EX and her CS2. Doesn't mean it's good. I don't know. I guess she just has a lot of, weird issues like that. But I think D's pretty respectable, honestly. All right, 7. You are the very first F tier character. You are weird. You are a stack debuffer that does 3 different elements that can't even imperil or enchant. Which, there's some characters that do that, like, Seifer, but Seifer has other ways to make up for that. You don't. All your skills and your EX and your LD ever does is try and give you a stack on Snake Eyes. And Snake Eyes is a terrible debuff. It only goes up to 50%, which, hey, I guess that's something. But, 50% on one debuff. Everything else is probably, I think, is like 30 or 10 below. Which, no. Like, you don't even do good damage. You're also an outdated character like Yang and Sabanar. But even then, like, come on. And after that, we have another F tier unit. Except you have the opposite problem. You are a terrible supporter. You can certainly support, but like your supporting buffs and auras are not that good. You struggle really bad. And that's really sad to me, because I actually like Deuce. She's super sweet. But she's not in this game. Agrius. I think I put you in C tier. Yeah, C tier. I don't remember what I said. A paralyzer and a supporter. So it's very similar to... I don't know if I should say similar to Gilgamesh, because I think they have some other different things. So you can paralyze with S2. It's not guaranteed. I don't think it's guaranteed. No, it is guaranteed. So, and I think her LD is pretty good as well. I don't remember what her LD does, but it's there. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . I'll find out later, but I think her LD is really good as well. She'll probably be below if it wasn't for that guaranteed paralyzation, which I think can still make her pretty usable. So, Locke, I put you into C. If this was earlier in, if this was when C90 was first introduced, easy S tier. But right now, he's just okay. He still works in some compositions, and his BT effect is pretty good as well. Especially the aftermath. If you have his HP plus attack that can do like 6 dumps, I think it's pretty good, you know. Barret, Barret, you are the last character this month that has gone a C90, and it did not help you at all. At least before I would have put you in F, but now you're just D. He now has instant follow up on quest startup, which is nice. But like Barret is not that good, and he is not good right now. He doesn't do a lot of damage. I mean, well, I don't know if that's a problem with me, but but you know, Barret's just okay. Yeah, he's less than decent in my opinion. His rework was not that great. It didn't help him at all. It gave him unnecessary strengths that did not fix his weaknesses. So, so my favorite all-time character, I am gonna be brutally honest with myself and say egg tier. I would of course put him in S tier, but you know, I have to be brutally honest with myself. Still though, he should not be knocked down at all. He has some really good auras, and his BT effect is really good as well. It's too bad it's only 6 turns, but you know, you make do with what you have, and he makes do with what he has really well. He now has now has some of his LD effect at the start of a quest, which can help save on LD uses. He is a holy enchanter on his AA, and with the added benefits of brave up damage as well. And he can also imperil with both his EX and his LD. And his EX is ridiculously broken. It has full AoE for no reason. It's super good. It really shouldn't be that good. And with the right effects, you can easily do 700k. So he's gotten a lot more defensive auras with his rework. But hey, defensive auras aren't always the worst. He's really good at keeping the party alive, and especially with the HP up stuff. So really good unit in my opinion. Rosa, I think I put you a C tier. You are an Aurabot, and that's all you are. You struggle with keeping up with the damage, even with FR boards, I guess. But the cool things that she has is that she does regain stuff. She does have revive, if you hit 0. So, hey, that can be helpful if you're into that. Golbez. I think I'm putting you an E. Golbez it has one of the worst BT effects in the game. He is a mixed attacker, doing both magic and physical damage. And he is also a Dark Imperler and an Enchanter. But once again, like, it's not a good effect. He doesn't keep up at all with the party. Anybody that says that he is good is kind of dumb, and I will say that to their face. Rinoa, D tier, easy D tier. The last time that she's gotten anything was her LD boards from, I believe it was from Anniversary, actually, because I remember her LD being available. And her LD boards really helped a lot. She can cap pretty easily. And I don't know what else to say about Rinoa other than, she's pretty good. So, well, she's less than decent in my opinion, so. Lulu. Lulu, you have. I'm gonna put you in B. You are alongside the enchanters. You are a fire enchanter, but you have an extremely unique LD. How it stacks with other enchants and gives it to the whole party. Which, honestly, if Toto gets her C90 and hopefully a rework, I could finally justify her having to be an Imperialer of all elements. I could see that. And she's pretty good at that. So, the twins. I don't remember what I put to the twins. C to P, B. I think I'm gonna put you in B. No, that's A, B. They are the best. In my opinion, I think they are the best AOE DPS attackers. Always doing full splash damage across the board. But their LD has a special thing. If it's a single target, they will only do it once. But if it's a group target, then it'll go off twice, and it can easily do 500k even without high armor. They also have some really cool auras, and they are probably one of the best auto farmers in the game. So if you really want an auto farmer, they're here for you. Freya, A tier. And she has lots of auras. She's a healer, and she can grant last stand to the party, I think, through her LD. Or her EX. I'm pretty sure it's her LD. But it's last stand to the whole party. And last stand, in my opinion, is really, really good. And if a character has it, it makes them so much better. Speaking of, there is another character. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 more characters left. So, alright, let's get this over with. Vayne. D tier? Yeah, I think D tier's fine. But for the longest time, in my opinion, he was the underdog of the Lifinia Plus era. A lot of people threw him out the window, but he is really good at rebreaking. And I mean, he's really good at it. Actually, now that I'm saying this, I think he should go and see. I've seen so many runs with him where he's just worked, and he's worked well. And honestly, I could not ask anything of more of an underdog unit than, Vayne. So, Fran, I said B tier. Funny story, I thought she did ice damage for the longest time. I was wrong. She has a very unique stack debuff. And I mean it's very unique because for every stack it does, it adds on a new debuff to it, and it goes up to 10. And at 10, it's a ridiculous list. You can go look it up yourself if you don't believe me. In fact, I was too lazy. I didn't want to write it down. Other than that, she just got the generic stuff with C90. C90 reworks, which is more damage. More dumps on her S1 and S2. Her EX got better as well. But her stack debuff is very unique. And honestly, I see it used. And honestly, if I would use it more. But, as it is right now, I think she stands at a really good place. So. Alright, next. Okay, we only have 2 units left. Alright, let's make this fast and quick and painless. So, Perone, I think is really good. She's a great supporter. And her bravery fund is ridiculous. Her LD just is ridiculous. She has a follow-up attack that never breaks, which, hey, if you're struggling with breaking on a fight, that could be good. She has party-wide last stand like Freya does. So, you can think whatever you want with her. But I think she's really good. And, even with her rework, I think it fixed a lot of her bad points. Which even before then, I probably would have put Rome in like C or something. But she honestly didn't really need that rework. Her C90 might have just been fine on her own. But honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, that rework gave her a lot. And, that party-wide last stand is very helpful. So, one of the few reasons I do use her in my comps is because of the last stand, and because of that insane bravery fund. So, and Pain, the last one for this, and then we'll go on to part 3 next time. In fact, I thought Noel was on here somewhere. Oh, there's Noel. Okay. I think putting her in D is a very respectable. Pain has has one of the most unique LDs in the game. Because depending on which place you have her in, 1, 2, or 3, she can be a debuffer, a buffer, or just a mixed. I don't remember which place is which, but just know that depending on which place she is, her LD does different things. So, one of them debuffs. One of them is a full party buff with Auroras, I believe. And I don't remember what else. She got a rework recently, but of course that is not going to apply on this list. So, I don't know where she would be if that were the case. Because I'm still experimenting with her as we talk. As I am talking, so. Pain is very decent. I think is, well, less than decent. So. Alright, and that is it for 51 through 100. So, if you guys have any complaints, or you guys don't think I'm right about something, just let me know in the comments below. I would be more than happy to listen to you. Or, you can just be a jerk about it. Even then, I would still listen to you. And so next time, I'll go over the rest of these guys. Probably in a much more faster pace. Paced. That's a good one. Paced. So, once again, go check out the links down below. I'd really appreciate it if you do. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you once again for watching.